Hey everybody, how's it going? Tooth here, 10 Jan 2024. And sorry if I sound a little down and out, a little tired. I had to go out and go pull a truck out of a ditch and it kind of smoked me a little bit. But I've stayed in some other videos. Got a training event coming up at the end of the month in January. So one of the deals that keeps getting asked is what do I take, what do I not take, all that other stuff. So there's quite a bit of movement going on in this one over some pretty crappy terrain, so it's a light loadout type deal. So far as kit goes, got a TAPS cover, IFAK tourniquet, compass, knife. Got some admin pouches back here to put maps and stuff in. Got my protractor for land nav, all that good stuff along with the compass. My cell phone will wind up going in here because I wind up using it on land nav with the Middle GPS app I have on there. Been using that for years. It's been very handy. Since we brought up the cell phone, there is a PACE plan that has been placed for communication, primary, alternate, contingent, emergency. Bear with me, I think I got a sneeze coming on. I'm gonna keep going until it comes. So cell phone will be alternate. Primary will be civilian radios. These aren't the best radios. These are the Baofeng UV9Rs. I bought these when I first started looking into getting into civilian radio type stuff. And there's some other ones I'm looking at to upgrade to that are way better, more expensive. The kits that come with these, when you buy them, the antenna is not bad, but the PTT, the lapel, mic, all that other stuff, pretty much crap as far as I'm concerned. I will say the battery life on these ones isn't too bad. It'll last 8 hours minimum if I'm not just using the shit out of it. If I am using the crap out of it, I'm looking probably about 4 to 5 hours of use. So that's why I will be taking one radio, 2 batteries. I'm just going to charge both of them up using the radios. This is a different mic, a lapel mic from Baofeng I got. The clips on it is better, it's more stout. That was the big complaint I had about the lapel mic, was the clip, really, to be 100% honest with you. And I haven't used this one yet, so I'm looking forward to trying it out in January and see if it's any better than what I had. Hold on, someone's trying to come in. That's handled. So yeah, that would we'll see how it works out. I'll give you an update on it. Medical is going, like I said, there's an IFAK on the TAPS rig, and I have my CLS bag, which is for basically it is a military issued CLS bag, just like the IFAK is a military issued IFAK with a few extra things put into it. This comes with a lot more stuff just in case. Has SAM splits, multiple tourniquets, pressure dressing, everything else in it. It's literally got it at a military surplus store. I ran the NIN and ran all the components in there. It was full when I got it. A couple of things have been pulled out of it, like a tourniquet and a piece of gauze where I hurt myself. So that part is covered. So another thing to look at is you use a lot of electronics out there, like the radio's electronic, your phone's electronic, a lot of your optics are electronic, your light on your weapon is electronic. You're using a lot of batteries. I try to keep everything to run the same battery, but it doesn't always work out that way. So like the weapon light I'm running right now is going to get replaced, so I can go back to running CR123s. I'll have several of these packed up and away with me. They don't recommend it, but I can run CR123s in my pistol light for sure, and that has a rechargeable battery in my rifle light. Not a big fan of that. I'm going to swap that light out and go back to something that uses these. But how I pack these is a 2-pack, and that way they don't go tip the butt, because I did find out the hard way, they do go tip the butt. They will discharge themselves and get very hot, or you'll have a piece of metal that'll connect both ends, and will make a heating element in your pocket and get very warm. I haven't had the 2032s do that, but just in case, I leave them in packages as well. That way I don't have that issue. Another battery we have is the Pocket Juice battery pack. I've used it for a while now, for over a year. Holds the charge pretty good. Unfortunately, my dog's got a hold of it, so I hope it still works pretty good. I know it's not sealed up the way it should be anymore. But the iPhone XR, it would charge it 3 times, so I'm pretty sure the iPhone 15 will get charged 3 times, so I can continue to use my Mill GPS and all that other stuff. So that's one of the things to look at. Another problem with electronics, headlamps. I got 2 of those that I'm taking. These are tactical headlamps, Byte. They run on AAA batteries, 2 of them. And I've got 2 pin lamps, white and green, that are going. They run on AAAs as well, so I need to get more AAAs. I'm out of them right now. The pin light is not so bad. It doesn't eat batteries that much. Is this the one? Oh yeah, this is the one that also turns into a lamp. But anyway, it's a Streamlight. Just in case you're wondering, it is a Streamlight Pro 360. I wound up getting this to work in the motor pool, and it's going to progress its way on to other things, 100% positive. These Byte tack headlamps, they're actually pretty good. Red light first, 2 settings, off, hold, get your white light, and then 2 settings on it, and then it turns off. So that covers that. But on high, these things do eat AAA batteries like candy. A little fat kid in the candy store. So more reason to pack batteries and store them properly and everything else. Like I said, you can buy a 2-pack, cut the cardboard off so it takes up less room. It's one of the ways I recommend going. Hygiene, wipes. I've had guys say they're not taking wipes to the field anymore. On my full-time side and my end-day side, my soldier's going to hate the day he shows up without wipes. Civilian training events, I can't tell you what to show up with, what not to show up with, but highly recommended. 1, clean your hands if you get dirty and you want to go eat. Wipe your butt, hit the hot spots, pits, crotch, all that good stuff. I've had one guy say, I'm just going to use leaves to wipe my butt, and I was like, man, you do you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it doesn't sound like a good idea to me because leaves dry out and all that other stuff. As far as tools go, so part of our training event that we got going on is going to involve hunting. I've had a problem that where we're doing this is where I go deer hunting at. I have seen signs of hogs, so I want to tell the guys when they're there, you see a hog, smoke the damn thing. If it's small enough, we'll pack it out. So got a couple of skinning knives I'm going to take with me. Both of them are already sharp, ready to go. Got the gut hooks, everything else. One's a Gerber and the other is a Mountain Edge. The Mountain Edge, I really like it a lot. My little brother got it for me for Christmas. I used it to skin a squirrel here a couple of days ago. No, I'm sorry, rabbit a couple of days ago to get it out. Worked really great. As far as other knives go, like we talked about on the mountain, I use big knives a lot. There's the big Boker that finished out deer camp with, well, because my other one broke. And you can tell it's been around a minute. It's been used. Other than really like delimbing and batoning, I haven't found a real good use for this type of knife. The blade is not heavy enough to chop with, but it's there as a backup just in case. And yeah, you can chop with it, it just sucks. The Kershaw Kurkuri, since I was told I pronounced it wrong, sorry. I went to school in Oklahoma, reading is not my strong point. But this does have a heavier ended blade, and like I said, the guy in the other video, the guy gave it to me to test out, had a $70 price tag on it, so I'm going to try to take it out and give it a shot at the end of the month and let them know if it's worth 75 bucks. If I wind up keeping it, I'm cutting all this nylon crap off of the sheath so I can lash it on with 550 cord onto my ruck. Another tool that is going is the multi-purpose armorer's tool. Things get used, things get loose. Not everybody uses Loctite. I don't know everybody's skill level or who put everybody's guns together. it's just nice to have. And on top of that, if someone brings bottled beer, we've got a beer opener, so we're squared away on that deal. The other thing we're looking at is a weapons cleaning kit. Now, I know a lot of people like using the little round deal with the snake in it and all this. Due to stuff I've ran into on the military, I like this kit. Not necessarily for cleaning, but for other types of maintenance. I have had weapons break on range. I've actually had some of my own personal weapons give out on me and not do things that they're supposed to do. Especially when you start breaking that 50,000 round count, small things like to wear out. A spring or something wear out, and then you can use some of the stuff in here along with the Gerber, and I also have a armorer's Gerber that is packed away going. So kind of see where I'm going with a lot of this stuff is everything has a purpose and a reason, but mainly this is for, I mean, you can swab a barrel with it, you can do all that good stuff with it, but main reason it goes, and I use it, and I choose it over a lot of the other stuff, even though it's noisy and makes a lot of noise, is getting debris out of a barrel. Like I said, I've had an extractor break on a range. I had to use the metal rods to pop the brass out of the barrel of basically out of the barrel of the M4. Sorry, I'm tired. Things are dragging out a little bit. And also I've had to remove a rock from an A2 bird cage, and that's where the metal rod come in handy. If you're using the snake, you don't get the punch you need to remove stuff like that. And like I said, a Gerber, pliers mainly what get used on these is, and all that good stuff. The file in one of these has been used quite a bit to work on vehicles, file pins down and stuff when you're trying to pin things together on the trucks for holding things into place. Things do get mulled up, burned up, so the file definitely comes in handy on that part. So yeah, and then the armor's Gerber or multi-tool, it has Allens, punches, stuff like that in there to help get in and do the fine detail stuff, tighten up everything. So I've had a guy in a training event, his optic came loose on his weapon, and it actually wasn't the base plate that mounted to the weapon that came loose, it was where the optic mounted to the base plate from the factory came loose. So we had to take it apart, demount it, tighten everything up. Luckily we were close enough to the truck, I had a little bit of Loctite, so we went ahead and Loctited, put everything in, and we just assumed everything was close enough to zero, and we was able to carry on. So now we've covered tools, we've covered knives, we've covered hygiene, we've covered kit, radio, batteries. So let's break off into no, hold on. Before we get off into the important stuff, let's finish covering out some more of this kit. So like I said, we're using hunting to do part of the training scenario on this deal. So coyote hunting is a deal. So the people going to the training event may or may not want to bring this, but you can get this at Walmart relatively cheap. It is just a piece of burlap sack that has camo on it. And then I have my coyote coil in this assault pack along with some cordage. I don't remember the dimensions on the burlap sack, but will actually cover a pretty good length at about 2.5 to 3 foot tall. Cordage, I'm not one of the ones who cuts cordage up. Too many times in the past I have used to do that, and then I would wind up having to tie them together to finish out doing what I was doing. And for me, I have just found, leave it in a long strand, keep it bundled up, try to keep it as neat as you can, and cut off what you need as you go. That's just what's been working great for me. And like I said, this is a pack that's going when I'm out moving around. This is the pack I'll be using. And there's also a part in here. I have a 6-liter water bladder that's going to go in here, so I have enough water for the two nights that I'm out. So, and this is just a standard military issued assault pack. You can get an Army Navy surpluses really cheap. Since we already hit on the water thing, more water storage, 64 ounce. This is actually from Iron Infidel. Someone gave me, I didn't buy it. But I'm glad they did give it to me because I've been using it since I got it. It never stays home. It's always with me. Drink out at work, refill it. I figure if I'm drinking 1 to 2 of these a day, I'm keeping myself pretty hydrated. And then, whammo, where'd it go? I've also got a 3 liter Camelback stuffed up in here. It will be another one that's going. It will get filled with water and it will get attached to a pack on the outside or something along those lines. Talking about the CamelBacks and the bladders, people go, oh man, they freeze up, they do this. Depending on where you put them in your pack is what you're going to run into. But all honestly, if it gets cold, it gets cold, and you're not moving around and sloshing the water around, yeah, things are going to freeze up. Don't fill them all the way up, just like you do not fill your 2-quart canteen all the way up. I'm only planning on taking one 2-quart canteen. I'm up in the air about taking the second one, just because of space and weight and all that other stuff. But the upside, if you do take two and you're out and you're stranded, we get snowed in, whatever, this just gives me another way to purify water. 2 quarts, 1 iodine tablet per quart, and let it sit for 30 minutes. Then you burp it to clear all the nasty stuff out. And then also, while you're getting your water out of a spring, a creek, whatever, you always run, especially up there where we're going at, you always run the huge possibility of large contaminants, leaves, moss, stuff like that. We'll cover these in a second, but for this, we're going to cover this part right now. This is a gator neck. I did order some different ones. We'll kind of cover that a little bit. They were really cheap, $8 a piece. But generally what you can do with the gator neck, stretch it over the mouth of your canteen, drop it down to a single layer. Someone showed me this in a field event that we were doing. You stretch it out, you let water in, and that keeps all your big contaminants out. So that will help. Milk canteen cup, just, hey, if I want to boil water for whatever reason, to purify it, drink it. Or if I just want to eat a cup of ramen noodles, there you go. And it also kind of works as a stove if you want to heat your MRE up in there. Don't recommend doing that. So now I guess we will kind of break off into the important stuff, because we covered the assault pack and everything that's in it. Big Rook, Philby. I don't know if I covered this or not, so if I did, you're getting a double dose of it, because I'm not doing this video again. Been running this Philby, this particular one. I have another one that has another year of use on it that I have passed down to my son, which the pack itself is not in the best of shape, but he needed to borrow one for a hunting trip we went on. But both of them have the original plastic frames in them. I have been told those during cold weather don't really hold up. They can crack and break. I haven't had that issue yet. Luckily, the guys that were telling about it, when they ran into it, they said what they used to fix it is they got Alice pack frames and put them in there. So I'm kind of at the point with a lot of the stuff I've got going on around here, I'm going to wait till it breaks or looks like it's going to start breaking, and I'll just go down up to town and get the Alice pack and put that in there. I do have 2 add-on pouches added on here to store stuff in. Signaling, communication, battery, water filtration, hydration, all that other stuff. I did have a Sawyer on the water, back on the water thing. I did have a Sawyer. It broke. I did not take care of it. It froze with water in it. So now I'm stuck down to this piece of Craft Life straw. Is what it is, but hey, you got it, you got it, you got it. So, but anyway, all of that stuff, the batteries will go in these. I do have an e-tool on here in case I got to poop, like I said. And my sleep system is already inside there. So the sleep system I have is an actual issued military sleep system that I bought off the surplus chain. I've been using it for God knows how long now, ever since I got introduced to them in 2010 at basic training. I have been using it, or that variant of, and I've been really happy with it. Another thing I use, basic training, I had the foam mat. I hated that thing. What I've wound up doing, and I'm probably going to try another one out too. Someone recommended getting away from this Air Up one and going to the Z Fold. So that's probably something else I'm going to do once I find one or get off my butt and get one. But generally what I do with that is I pop the cap, let it air up, close the cap back, and then I will slide that mattress type deal or pad in between my bivy cover and my sleep system, because that will give me a barrier off of the ground to help stay warm, and puts the bivy on the ground to keep moisture off of me and everything else. So sleep system's covered. Let's go on into packing clothing and stuff like that. Wet weather bag is a must. These rucks, most of these military systems, they get issued, even civilian systems have them. There is a water resistant area inside there to keep moisture out for the most part. Over time, they break down, they degrade, taking stuff in and out of the pack. It breaks that material down. So packing your socks, your undies, outer clothing, more warm layer clothing, stuff like that, highly recommended putting into one of these. And yes, these don't break down as bad, but over time, and I have had them do it, these wet weather, this rubber right here on the wet weather bags will break down itself. So that's something to keep in mind as you go through. So we've covered the clothing storage. So everybody that's watching this video should have a rough idea what silks, waffles, polys, all that other stuff are. Well, polys, maybe not. Silks get called polys a lot when they're not. But this is an actual poly top. It looks like a silk, but it's not. That has an extra layer on the inside, one for insulation and moisture wicking material. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I have worn this in freezing temperatures and just this underneath my uniform top or other clothing, and I have been, if I'm moving around, I'm comfortable. If I'm doing a lot of sitting, yeah, we'll layer up and put the waffles and stuff like that on. But I will not wear silks with that. You can buy a poly bottom. I haven't bought it because I haven't found a use for it. Like I said, I'll wear the silk bottoms, and if I'm doing sitting around inside the house, I'm okay. If I'm doing moving around outside, like right now, we got 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground, and we're hovering right around the freezing mark. So the sun is starting to come out and do its thing. So, but as long as I'm moving around and I've got the silk bottoms on, I'm good with these blue jeans or in my uniform. So that's all covered right there. So yeah, and one of the things I could tell you about layering up, don't overdo it, especially if you're doing a lot of moving around. Get out, play with your stuff, do your stuff, because I have had heat casualties in winter training events in the military because people put too much clothing on. One thing that's really missed a lot that I have noticed when I see people talking about this, because the only time they talk about wet weather gear, if it's raining, if there's snow on the ground or anything like that. So the way the military has layered up their cold weather gear is your wet weather gear, which this is a Tidewee. I got it at Bass Pro Shop, caught it on sale. This is the bottoms. Yeah.
Can I eat y'all salsa and chips?
Yeah. You know, I'm just gonna leave that in there. That's a kid doing what a kid does. But I've got one layer bottoms. These Tidewees I've worn them a couple of times in out deer hunting and stuff like that, or coyote hunting, and they work great. They have held up to the brush decently. I'm not gonna go tromping around through a briar patch or anything like that, just because briar patches tear shit up. And then I've also got 2 of the tops in case I tear one up, because like I said, we like to break things and stuff like that. Depending on how you're layered up, your cold weather gear, your wet weather gear can be an add-on to your cold weather gear to break the wind, and it'll also help trap in body heat if you're not doing a lot of moving around. If you're doing a lot of moving around, unless it's just really stupid cold outside, I really wouldn't recommend using those. Probably right now, since I've got snow on the ground and everything else, yes, I would wear those. Fall, spring, definitely summer. I'm going to move over to the poncho. Poncho is going to go because, one, it's a multi-purpose tool. It will do, one, it'll keep the water off of you, and in the warmer area or time, it will let all the heat vape out and all that good stuff, and not keep it all trapped in there on you like the tops and bottoms will. Another piece of kit I'm taking is also the bottoms I wear during deer hunting. Um, Generally on pants, I wear, like if you go off military sizing, I wear medium long. These are extra large long. The reason I did that is so when I am layered up, I can put these on, and then on top of that, I'm only going to put these on if I'm doing a lot of sitting still, and I'll also have a belt pre into the belt loops, so when I put it on, I can go ahead and secure the belt and put it where I need to be, so when I'm sitting down and being still, my pants ain't falling off or drifting off on me when I do the little bit of movement I'm doing when I'm sitting still. So, but yeah, those are Mossy Oak. I bought those either at Walmart or Academy. They are water resistant, not waterproof. They are insulated, and if you're sitting in a tree stand for long periods of time, they help keep the wind off of you, and they will help keep you warm and all that good stuff. I have worn these when it has been 20 degrees outside, sitting in a tree stand, so I'd have this on over a pair of pants with waffles and the silks, and I was just fine. My feet got cold, but not my legs, or not my upper body, because I have a top that goes with that too. I'm just not taking it this time around because it does take up a lot of room. Gloves for cold weather. I have these. I've been using these for a while now for hunting, and they're just cheap Walmart insulated gloves. They do all right. I do have a better pair at the shop that I got at Academy that are more, they're water resistant or waterproof. They're also insulated. So I guess you're kind of catching on something right here. Anything that's waterproof really helps cut down on the wind, or water resistant helps cut down on the wind. For me, wind is like the number one thing that gets me cold, not just ambient air temperature. Other gloves I'm taking, I've got these ironclad working gloves. They're impact resistant gloves. They're all right. They're not mechanics wear. I highly recommend getting mechanics wear, only because right here, this ironclad, that's opened exposed skin on the back of your hand, makes life miserable. So mechanics wear, that's sealed up. Trust me, get the mechanics wear. It'll all be good. Another pair of gloves I'm taking, don't really use a whole lot unless it's really warm outside. Tactical gloves. I recommend Wiley X. They've been working really good for me, and all of that good stuff. I've had Oakleys, I've had some other higher end ones, and I have just tore the crap out of them. So those aren't the most expensive, they're not the cheapest, but they do hold up pretty good. I've got a pair that's 3 years old, and they're shredded, but they have a lot of heavy use on them. Another warming piece of equipment you want to take is your Whoopee. Your Whoopee's like your American Express card. You never leave home without it. So we were talking about, so we'll go to beanies real quick. I've got 2 types of beanies I'm taking, and I'm probably going to pick up another silk beanie. And I've got this beanie, which is another Huntsworth. Used it a couple of years. It works good. We wearing this one or this one. If you're doing a lot of moving around, you will sweat. They will get wet. They will get cold. Once that happens, that's why I do recommend taking more than one beanie. For civilian considerations, something like this one, this Huntsworth, that's camo, like Realtree camo on the outside, or you can flip it. It's a 2-way. So you can be identified as a range safety or whatever, or an RSO, range safety officer. You've got the orange to identify yourself as that, as if that's what you are set up as on a civilian training scenario. Another beanie I have is a silk beanie. This is a really highly recommended thing to get, especially if you're in the military, or if you're one of those ones who has nods and wearing a helmet. This thing actually works out really great. It's double layered where your ears are. The only downside to this is I bought a medium and I need a large. They are sized, so make sure you get the right size. So if you wear a large helmet, get a large beanie. But moisture wicking material, it will keep you warm, and all of that good stuff. And plus, you can wear this and do a lot more moving around than you can with the fleece or the other beanie. So that helps out a lot. Gator necks. 2 of these will be going, rotate in and out as need be. I know a lot of people like wearing Blavakas and all that other stuff. I'm not a big Blavaka fan. I don't like having things on my face, unless I'm just really sitting still and all of that good stuff. But you can put it on and you can bring it up and you can stretch it over the back of your head just like a Blavaka, get your ears covered and everything else. But really, honestly, this more times for me, this spins around my neck and up to the base of my skull more than anything else to keep me warm, because your neck is one of those things that gets exposed quite a bit. And with it scrunched down like this here, it actually adds a lot of air and insulation. So there goes that. So other stuff to look at taking, boonie cap. Can't go wrong with the boonie cap. I mean, helps keep the sun out of your eyes and everything else. One of the things I do recommend, iPro clear and dark lenses, especially if you're doing a lot of moving around at night and you're not wearing nods or using a headlamp. The clear lenses will help keep limbs and stuff out of your eyes. If you get a briar bush in your eye, you're definitely going to regret it. And then dark lenses for when the sun's out. So like I said, we got 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground out here. And when the sun comes out, it's going to get stupid bright, and that's where the dark lenses will come in handy. These are just Wiley X. These were issued to me and never got used, so they'll go in the ruck. They'll be there. More than likely for the dark lenses, I wear the Oakley M frames for the most part. I've got a couple of sets of those. That's probably what I'll be wearing. I'll just set those up for clear lenses for doing stuff in the dark and all that. Cutting wood, whatever. Protect your eyes. You only get one set, guys. So I think that covers everything. I do have one safety concern to put out real quick. So when you're using these metal containers for storing water or doing whatever, know which one's what, and when you buy them, mark them. Like I said, this is vacuum sealed. It's got an air pocket in it to help for insulation. And there are just regular single hole ones that you can use on your fire and stuff like that. I was out goofing around with some buddies one time, and my buddy grabbed his. I don't remember what the make was, where he got it from, but he didn't mark it, and he had 2 that looked exactly the same. But one was a single walled, one was a vacuum sealed, and when the vacuum sealed heated up and that dude popped, it threw shit everywhere. So you're heating air up, it's expanding inside there, it's going to pop or blow. So but yeah, I think I've covered everything, and I think I've gone about as far as I want to go into this one. The best thing I can tell you right now, this stuff I've laid out, it may not be for you. It works for me because it's what I've been doing for years, and it's what I found to work for me. And that's going to branch off into several other things I can say. Weapons, barrel links. I know we did a video last night on barrel links. That dude was really getting underneath my skin, and I went ahead and sent him a link to that video. I haven't heard anything back from him yet, thank God, because I was tired of it. But I mean, everything has its place, and everything has its little niche. For like me, I go for all around. Let's get something done. Let's spend as little money as possible. So, but like I was saying, what works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. Get out, hang out with your buddies, talk with your buddies, see what they're doing. If they've got a setup you think you might be interested in, talk to them. Hey, can I borrow it? Can I do this? Whatever. I know with the guys I've been running around with here lately, they have been really open. Like, hey man, I'm thinking about buying a set of nods, and a couple of the guys that have are like, here, try these out, see what you think. And these aren't $200-300 nods. These are like $3,000-4,000 nods, and they're like, try it out. And then me being how I am, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna take your word for it. I don't want to touch that until it's mine. So, but fun groups of guys like that to run around and do stuff with. And that's if you're a prepared citizen, preparing for shit hit the fan, hunting, anything in life, vehicle, whatever. Just keep in mind, and maybe I need to stress this a little bit more on some of the stuff we do around here. We buy stuff, every now and then something breaks, we send it back, but keep in mind, these companies, they make thousands, if not millions, of these pieces of product or equipment on the average a year. You're going to have a FUBAR piece every now and then. Don't hold it against them unless you just repeat it over and over again. I don't own a PSA gun. I know in several of the comments on YouTube I've made that. I do not own a gun made by PSA. I can't really say for myself, I can't say anything bad about PSA. I can say this, one of the guys I do run around with does have a PSA gun. PSA did warranty the bolt when it broke, which I've never seen a bolt break that way. That kind of blew my mind. I don't know what his round count is, but I'm sure it's up there because he's a pretty avid shooter. But my complaint I had with PSA is the bolt they sent back to replace it did not look like a new one. It looked like a well-used one, and I'm like, okay, that sucks. That kind of goes right into the same thing. Is like that turns me away from using that company because I'm really big into customer service. EOTech is another one. They make a phenomenal product when it works. Unfortunately for me, I've had 3 of them break, and when I tried to get them warranted, I literally got told, and I was really looking forward to showing this to one of the guys at the camp that we're going to this weekend, of what EOTech legitly told me. And that was, oh, we no longer make that product, but we'll give you 50% off an updated product. Their 512 is still on the market. I don't know what they're doing different with the 512, but that's one of them I have that's broke. But I didn't get a new one. They wanted me to pay 50% for a newer optic, and I'm like, just not going to deal with you. Where, man, I bought some okay stuff from other companies. Leopold was another company. I wound up breaking one of their scopes, and I contacted them, and they was like, okay, send it in. They had it for a little bit, and they was like, yep, it's broke. And all it did is it took a decent hit, and it lost its nitrogen purge and was fogging out on the inside. But Leopold had to go do all their testing on it and everything else and try to reseal it, I guess, is what they were trying to do to fix it before they sent a new one back. So companies that, I mean, I don't mind you trying to fix it, but honor your lifetime warranty. And maybe I didn't read something right. Maybe EOTech's not a lifetime warranty, but if you're not going to lifetime warranty a yeah, it's like $500 to $600 component. I don't want to buy it, and I don't want to deal with you no more. So companies I can recommend is like Primary Arms and Vortex. They stand behind their stuff, and I've seen PSA, and I've heard stories up and down about PSA. It does get frustrating sending shit back. That means you need to get your quality control under check. But anyway, well, like I said, I think I'm done ranting on that for a little bit. Probably carried off into another topic. Sorry about that. But like I said, get out, use your stuff, mess around with your buddies. If they'll let you use their stuff, let them use it, or use it to let you use it. And then it's probably going to go the other way. Maybe you got something they want to try out. So I'm going to talk to one of the guys. I'm on the fence about putting a red dot on a pistol. So I've never ran one on a pistol. So I'll talk to the dude, see what he says, and go from there. But anyway, other than that, y'all have a good one. I want to get this shit loaded up and put up and get ready to go do something else. Later.